So we went from Tecmo Bowl to Tecmo Super Bowl to Tecmo Super Bowl again? The naming gets a little confusing here. And then there's Tecmo Super Bowl 2 and 3, or in Japan, Tecmo Super Bowl 3 is called Tecmo Super Bowl 6. Okay, not really. Many people didn't even know Tecmo Super Bowl had a sequel, let alone 2 sequels. Here I'll be diving into what makes the first so much more memorable and how the sequels stand up on their own. Tecmo Super Bowl on the SNES feels almost like a remaster of the NES version. There's an updated roster and better sound and graphics, but very little new to the game honestly. Like, you can now play in rain or snow, but its effects are pretty minimal and random. It's like occasionally a player slips and falls. Other than that, you can now also view the defense's attributes and conditions throughout the game. It gives the players more opportunities to make informed decisions. When I look for a remastered version of a game, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I think it's the main reason only the first Tecmo Super Bowl is remembered so fondly. It retains the exact same look and feel of the original classic on the NES. So what went wrong in the sequels? When you first boot up Tecmo Super Bowl 2 Special Edition, the flaws immediately become apparent. I don't know who signed off on the menu system being this awful to navigate. Like, it looks like every single tile on the screen should be selectable, but once you press left and right, you'll see only a few of them light up. So now you want to try out a quick game in preseason mode. As you try to select your team, you're given another unintuitive navigation screen. There's no rhyme or reason to what pressing left or right does here. It just selects some arbitrary team that's next in some arbitrary sequence. It was because of this crappy navigation alone that this game doesn't stand up to the original. Okay, there's more to it than that. There actually were some cool new features worth mentioning. Like, you can now change the quarter duration, toggle fumbles or injuries, and adjust the difficulty. You also have 2 playbooks to choose from, and on defense, you get to choose your formation before doing the play picking. But that's about it. Everything else is a downside in this sequel. The graphics changed to an isometric, semi-realistic looking perspective. However, this has made its appearance not age well. It reminds me of going back and replaying Nintendo 64 or PlayStation 1 games. The graphics for many of these early attempts at realism just did not age well. Speaking of realism, that's also where I feel this game lost its spirit. The essence of the original Tecmo Bowl and Super Bowl was just a fun arcade feel. Here Tecmo had more competition from Madden and tried to half-ass introduce more realism into their series as a result. Finally, the music in this game is a major downgrade. It either is lame or uninspired. Like, listen to the new in-game music here. It reminds me of pressing the demo button on a 90s synthesizer. What happened to the excitement? Frankly, if you're gonna play one of the sequels, make it the third one. Tecmo Super Bowl 3 Final Edition. The first impression when starting this one up is far more promising already. Look at the navigation, it's a return to sanity. However, the team selection navigation is the same and just as bad as before. I don't get it. Why return to this crappy, unintuitive design? There are some new options in game modes here. It takes all the additions from the previous game and adds a create a player mode. They call it Superstar Editor. Inside Superstar Editor, you can create an entire roster of custom players. You can spread out the attributes however you like and assign each of them to a team. As you play with these custom players more in season mode, occasionally you'll gain the option to improve the player. You add more points into whatever attributes you want the most. I love the idea, though it makes for seriously overpowered players. Like, create a running back, and put all the points into maximum speed, and you've just made an even stronger version of Bo Jackson. See this clip, for example. On the field, you notice the graphics are a little more polished, but still, I'm just not a fan of this isometric perspective. The overall gameplay is fine, but what really kills it for me is the music here. Or should I say, the lack of music. Throughout the entirety of your time on the field, you just hear random crowd ambience. Boring. I honestly think replacing the crowd ambience with music would make this game feel more exciting. The menu selection music was great. Why not have more of that, but while on the field? The Tecmo Super Bowl series, despite being over 20 years old, has still retained a cult following. Many people moved on to playing the more realistic simulation-based series like Madden, and that seems to have influenced Tecmo to try the same in their sequels. But Tecmo should just never have thrown their hat in that arena in the first place. As shown by the fans sticking with the originals, they wanted this silly arcade feel to the game. Maybe a future version of Tecmo Super Bowl could be done, but with renewed focus on just making the game fun and arcade styled again. As is, I only can recommend the original Tecmo Super Bowls. If you want similar games, try Mune League Football and NFL Blitz. Thanks for watching. You all are superstars to me.